It is.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Okay, before we adjourn to closed session, do we have any public comments regarding anything on our closed session agenda? All right, I see none. Okay, I'll call our regular session meeting, business meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call shows we are all present. Okay, notice to the public, any member of the public wishing to discuss the governing board, wishing to address the governing board on a topic within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district but not on the agenda may do so during the public comment period identified on this agenda. Bylaws subjects not on the agenda cannot be acted upon by the board except to briefly respond, clarify, or refer to staff for further review and presentation at a future meeting. The board president will recognize you for public comment on matters on the agenda at the appropriate time. And I see no correspondence and nothing on our consent agenda. And public comment? Anybody have anything to say, public comment? I'm seeing none. No guest in presentations I'm seeing. So on to the director's report.
Okay,
Welcome, Steve, to your first meeting.
Yeah,
Thanks.
welcome, Steve.
so is this working?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, the first thing I have is a report on the roofing for the Miller Building. I don't know if everybody's actually had a chance to tour the Miller Building. Anybody that would like to come by, I'd be happy to show them around. We have a report from an architect stating that the building is salvageable, but it is in disrepair. The upstairs, there was some repair done to the roof to keep it from leaking, but some of the ceiling tiles have fallen in, and it's kind of a mess upstairs.
Just for the record, all the maintenance on that was deferred by Greg Atkins, library director, when he was director, because at that time he thought the building would be torn down as part of the new library project. So most of the damage that you see there was from the fact that maintenance was deferred for years on that building. Now that the library bond project is not going forward, the question becomes, what do we do with Miller? And in order to keep it from getting worse, the last board voted to at least repair the roof in order to keep further damage from happening while basically the building, we figured out what the board was going to do with it. So, sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's a good point. So we do have 2 estimates for a new roof. I passed out one to everybody, and it's also part of the public packet out there.
It's two or just one?
It's from ROI Roofing, and I gave all of the board members the samples that they passed along to me as to how it would be done. Patrick had talked in a previous meeting that I watched on video about the possibility of a 50-year sealant that could be put on the roof, but I've talked to a couple roofing people. They say there really isn't such a thing that would replace an actual new roof. That it could be sealed, but there's no guarantee that it would last that long. This is a much more dependable way to approach the project.
And this is beyond what Marino can do because he's not a licensed roofing contractor. He just did some repairs for us as our maintenance contractor. Is that
right?
correct?
Yeah, I don't know that he has any particular roofing expertise.
Okay.
So I got two estimates, the one that I passed out, the other one, it's significantly higher, it's $27,800. I have a copy if anybody would like to see that one, but this one is much less expensive and it seems to be, as good as the other proposal, so that would be my recommendation, is to go with that particular one.
So I see in here on this one proposal that it says if they find dry rot during the process, that they'll come back to us with the additional cost for that repair, the construction repair.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
okay, if there's no more comment or questions, I'll move on to the next one. I have copies of the budget and everybody's.
Can we get this on the agenda for information, discussion, and approval
yeah,
at the
sure.
next meeting?
Yeah, because it's over the limit of what we can spend without approval.
Directors.
Yeah.
Right, so let's get that so we can make a decision potentially on it and move forward.
Especially since it's dry right now. For now.
Okay.
For now.
Well, okay, sorry. I looked at, watched some of the prior board meetings, and one of the big concerns was always the state of the budget. And when I talked to Patrick, I asked him several times about the budget. He was never able to give me any details. He claimed that he'd never actually seen the budget, so he really didn't know what to tell me. So I contacted Solano County Auditor's Office, and they're providing me with the monthly budget. This is the most recent one. It's through April 15th, but they come out on the 15th of every month, which is today. So there should be a new update coming next week sometime. So it's my understanding that the budget is public knowledge. So the budget, there is a copy of that out there for people to look at if they like to. And Gina, our accountant, and Tony Manlicklick, I believe his name is, from the Solano County Auditors, he's providing me with these, so.
Okay. And this is pretty small package, so. Do you guys want to have this every time there's an agenda and,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
an updated budget's available?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do
Okay,
you mind?
yeah, no, that'd be great.
Thank you.
No, I think everybody should know what's going on
Absolutely.
with the budget.
Absolutely.
I mean, every
I mean,
other place.
as of right now, it doesn't look too bad. We're at 803,000 revenue and not 572
Yeah, things
on a
look good.
budget on a deficit spend budget.
Yeah.
So every place I've been associated with before in the past, it's always been public record. People can
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
This
Online,
is
look it
absolutely
up.
public record.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you might just want to have a couple extra down by the library just in case anybody else wants a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can run them off for people if
Excellent.
they need to. One of the things I would like to do and have been doing is increase library involvement in library organizations.
Before we move on to that
Oh,
item,
yeah,
just
sure.
one last point. The prior board had approved an auditor to audit books and records. And I think that was, I want to say it was, it's not for the current year, and I don't believe it was last year. I think it was for time before that. We might want to look into the regular practice of having the outside auditor audit our books and records, just to make sure that they don't see any issues or concerns from their end. And so maybe what you might want to do is look at what was done under the prior board with respect to hiring the auditor, and see about bringing some information to the board at the next meeting over what it would take to have, audited actuals done on a regular basis. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, I've been trying to get us more involved in library organizations. I personally joined the American Library Association, which is by far the biggest library association out there. I also had the library as a whole join Reforma, which is a particular organization devoted to better serving Hispanic patrons in libraries. So we joined the Sacramento chapter. It's headed by Mr. Delgadillo, who's at UC Davis. So I should be meeting with him to talk about that. And in the past, I found they've been really good at providing workshops on how to better serve the Hispanic community. and also providing like lots of library-related handouts in Spanish and that sort of thing. So I think that's a good place for us to join as well.
I do, we talked with Catherine about this, but I would like to see a Spanish translation budget, or button on the website.
Okay.
And, Catherine's not a fan of Google Translate. The Drupal has their own translation, software. And so whatever could be done to get that up and going would be great.
Okay, yeah, she talked with Jim Craner, who's in charge of the website design, and he's looking into that.
Okay.
So one of the things about being part of the organizations is their annual meetings for librarians to go to. The big American Library Association meeting this year is in Las Vegas. It's at the end of June and beginning of July.
Oh, now we see why you want to join.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody wants to go to Vegas in July.
I
Right?
know.
Oh,
Well,
that's true.
the ALA meetings are always like that. The midwinter one is in Chicago. I mean, they just get a better deal, I'm sure, by having it in places
Yeah.
Right.
opposite where you would want to be. But I would like either myself or Catherine or one of the staff members to go to that if possible. I looked into cost. It'd be around $240 for plane fare, $250 for the conference itself, and $59 to $89 a night for a hotel. So it's something I would like y'all to consider. If that's not a possibility, the next year's meeting of ALA is in San Francisco, so I think we could swing that. The California Library Association also has an annual conference, and that one is going to be in Oakland this year in November, so that's something else that we can attend.
Excellent.
But the ALA conference has usually around 25,000 librarians attend it and 1,500 vendors. So you really get a chance to talk with your peers and see all the latest stuff that's out there for libraries.
It's like an ongoing training thing. I mean, I would be for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I'll go with you too.
All right. Sounds good.
Wait, no, it's July. Never mind.
Okay, the next thing is the new website. We've got that up and running as of today. I know Joe's seen it and has made comments. I haven't really heard comments from anyone else about it, so I'd like people to look at it and then give us your input as to what you think about the new design.
One other thing is, the library now owns .com and .net, or should. They should have all those domains parked. And it would be really great to have all the this website is, .org, or excuse me, .com right now, or
.com
.org?
right now.
It's .org right now, isn't it? Or
It's
is it
.com at the moment.
It is
but
.com right
we
now.
can go on
But
the
you
org.
wanna
We ought to
own-
have the org and the net, we ought to have them all point the same location. It's very simple to do. They just do forwarding. So, I just want to make sure that all the top level domains that we own all point to the same homepage.
Okay,
Okay, and then everywhere within the site, we need to make sure that the Facebook page is correctly described. Okay, which is
Okay.
DixonLibrary.com, not DixonPublicLibrary.com. Although Catherine's working on merging all of that together.
yeah, I
too.
sent off a thing to Facebook too.
Good.
There are two Facebook pages out there, one with minimal information and the other one is the one we're actually keeping up. So we're trying to get rid of that second one that really doesn't have any pertinent information on it.
Yeah.
And I was on the website today too, and I thought it looked great, and I thought I had all the information up front, which I thought was really nice. Where before you had to really kind of dig for it. So
Oh, okay, good,
yeah, it was
good.
helpful.
Find the agenda.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Can't do much worse than the old website, that's for
No.
sure.
No,
No.
no. Well, part of the reason why the new websites are more simpler and easier to use without lots of excess information is there's a web accessibility initiative that a lot of designers are following now, and it basically is designed for people that have vision problems, for using devices for the computer so they can actually see things and get information. And it's supposed to be set up where it can be read on a mobile device for people
Right,
with
both
sight
ways.
problems too.
Excellent.
Can we also get an update on when the either the new server or cloud system is going to, when we transition over to our backside, data solution, what's the, I assume Galatia will give you a timetable for that.
Yeah, actually, I talked with them today. They're supposed to be sending out someone, I think tomorrow we were talking about sending somebody out to actually look at the new setup and try and fix the cabling. Lori from Galatia was with us on Monday, and she wasn't pleased with the state of the cabling downstairs. There's still lots of wires going all over the place that she wants to condense down.
And then last question, do we have any timetable on when the new email system might be in place?
That's all connected to that.
So they've got to fix the server issues first, and then they'll be able to get the new email system up and going.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's supposed to be ready once they get the cabling problem
All right.
fixed. So, the next thing is shift planning. That's the name of our new scheduling software that we're using. It's something that I looked at with Gina, and basically it's to streamline the way that the scheduling is done and the way that the payroll is handled. And currently now there's like a printed out Excel sheet with everyone's schedule on it. Each day all the employees go and look at it, they initial the time that they've been at the library, and then someone will actually physically have to go through and add up all the hours. This system does that all by itself. It's pretty straightforward the way that it's set up. It's easy to just take 1 week's schedule, copy it to the next week, and then make whatever changes need to be made to accommodate people's time off or whatever. But it'll eliminate the possibility for lots of the mistakes that arise with dealing with 20-some employees and adding up everyone's penciled in remarks. So we're going to also utilize the time clock feature on it. So people will actually clock in and clock out, but it's also lenient where if someone has to be 10 minutes late, they can stay 10 minutes after, or they can take a shorter lunch. As long as you work your prescribed number of hours, it's okay. So it's pretty lenient, but it'll also make things a lot more accurate than they have been in the past. One feature that it does have too is that, and I'm only enabling this for the full-time people who this might apply to, but you can call in on your mobile phone and check in to the system too.
Get your
So, if I have to be at a meeting at 9 o'clock or Adrian is out at one of her school meetings, she can clock in that way too. So
Cool.
that's a nice feature, I think. But I think it's all in all a great improvement from the way we were doing it. The Granicus training, I had hoped to have something more definite to tell you. We had, it was scheduled on Tuesday, and the trainer called and she couldn't do it on Tuesday, so we're trying to reschedule. But that's the software that will allow us to post the meeting minutes and video directly onto the website.
Super.
It's also known as iLegislate.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting for that to happen.
Okay.
The next one is the IT contract. The contract that we have with Lowell Switzer is expiring on June 30th. I've talked with Scott, and he said that as part of the education code that we're really only supposed to use vendors for 5 years, and he's exceeded those 5 years. So June 30th we'll be crossing over to ProGent, which is under the Galicia group is the people we're actually contracting through. But if we extend that, we'll contact directly with ProGent to provide the IT service, and it's a lot cheaper.
We'll save a lot of money that way off of that Switzer contract.
Yeah, it'll
Would
a
it be
lot
more
cheaper.
efficient too?
Yes.
So, the weed abatement, I had somebody come out and mow the vacant lot that's right behind the library, right behind the Carnegie wing there. The weeds were really overgrown after the rain.
How much did that cost?
That was
Probably pretty cheap.
it was $290, I think. But that's going to include his future visits as well.
And then they put down some sort of weed.
Yeah, around the edges, they're supposed to do that,
Okay.
so that'll
Prevent
hopefully-
future, yeah.
hopefully look better. And The house that's right adjacent to that property there, Pedro Moreno is going and he's gonna try and clean off the roof and just kind of keep that from deteriorating any further than it is at the moment. There were problems with both the fire alarms when I started. Somebody came out and fixed both of those. They weren't ringing properly. They were kind of missing rings, so it wasn't really apparent that the fire alarms were going off, but those have both been fixed.
Yeah, it could be an issue.
Yeah, it could be. Furniture purchase, I have bought 5 new tables for the library. The library was down to 1 study table, and it's kind of worn, so 5 new tables should be coming sometime by the end of the month. I also bought a couple new floor mats for the building. Those are already installed. They're right when you come into the library. They're new floor mats. And we've got a couple new book trucks in the children's department. They were shipped without wheels. The wheels are now coming. So those are the new furniture purchases. The problem with the water backflow, I had somebody from California Water come out and inspect that about 2 weeks ago. He says everything is up to standards except one minor repair that he's going to send me a report on. He said it shouldn't cost that much, but there's one little issue with one of the pipes outside. But the major part of that project's already been completed. Children's department, Adrian's our new children's person. She started a couple weeks before I did, and she's doing a really good job, I think. She's doing summer reading program, and she's got a software where people can sign up online. It's really simple. We can keep track of all the books that the kids read at the different levels, and there's also an adult summer reading program on there too. But it's really easy to sign up. It's really easy to keep track of the prizes that the kids are going to get.
Why don't you have her contact me and we'll arrange for her to visit the Dixon Migrant Camp as well.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that'd be cool. Can
All
I
right.
come along? I'd like to.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
would like to see what that's all about.
Yeah.
Okay. She started programs for babies and toddlers on May 1st, which we hadn't been offering.
Really? Like what for babies?
Just real simple stories and songs.
That's cool.
And she says basically, that some of them will pay lots of attention and other ones just kind of don't. But
Or pay attention to the other babies.
yeah.
Still
But that's-
social time.
Yeah, that's something we hadn't been offering, so that's kind of cool. There's a poster for that in your packet too.
That's cool.
She wants to start an early literacy program for kids 0 to 5 years old that are having problems reading. She has experience with that in the past in places that she's worked. We do have iPads for the kids. Pedro came and he drilled holes to secure the iPads. There'll be 4 of them with educational games for the kids to play. And every night we'll have to take the iPads from the public stations and put them in storage where they'll charge overnight. To get on them, one of the staff members will have to type in a code, so it'll keep adults or teens from using them once they're designed for the little kids to use.
Yep.
And she's been embarking on school visits to promote summer reading. She went to one last week. I know she's got several more scheduled, so she's getting out in the public.
Should try to maybe arrange for a new meet with the curriculum director, our new curriculum director as well. Might be good.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good. The other thing is that I've tried to get together with people as far as a plan for our archives. I've contacted San Jose State and Sacramento State to see if we could get some interns to come out and work with that collection. There's 2 major areas that really need help. One is organization of things, which would be better cataloging of the materials. A lot of the things are cataloged, but they could have more access points so people can find them easier. And once we get that, to get things out on the web so people will know exactly what we have. And the other thing, which I think is more of a concern right now, is just conserving the collection. It's not in a climate-controlled area right now, so it's always hot.
There should be a hard drive backup of all the archives. We need to make sure that it's backed up separately from that server system, So if you want to double check that with Lowell Switzer. And the actual hard drive itself, I think, is in a secured cabinet in the office area, but we want to make sure that we have a separate backup of all the archive system.
Yeah, Catherine was going to run a backup on the Past Perfect, which stores all the photographs. Some of the documents are on there, a lot of the oral history is, but not all of the documents are on there. But a lot of the collection consists of like old newspaper clippings that really need to be protected by acid-free paper or something that might be a little bit cheaper than that. But I'm hoping that it gets somebody with some conservation background in there to really help us decide the best way to preserve things.
Do we need to consider a budget for that, money for that? Do you think?
Right now, I'm looking to see if I can get somebody free,
Okay.
hopefully a student that's like a grad student with some experience. We'd also have that person working closely with staff, or I have a couple volunteers that are interested in helping us.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get that project going in more detail. We had one meeting a couple of weeks ago and plan on having monthly meetings to try and get that going. Basically, we need, as far as getting the interns from one of the universities, we have to come up with a project that is finishable in X amount of time for their hours, and they can get like course hours for doing the project. So that's pretty much it for my director's report.
Well, that's great. You've been busy. That's excellent. Any comments on director's report? Any public comments on the director's report? Hello.
Joe Dingler. I have a question. I wasn't certain of how that roof for the Miller Building thing was handled.
Wait, I'm sorry, how the what was handled?
What was the decision on the roof for the Miller Building?
Well, the prior board did a patch on the roof and thought that had fixed the leaks.
I know that, but there's a proposal here to
The
fix
decision tonight was to bring it back as an action item in our next meeting.
it soon.
Yeah, our next
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, because it has an expiration of 30 days on the contract.
Okay, I'm sure we can get them to extend that.
You might want to do that.
Okay.
The second thing on the director's report is has to do with the staff planning and time clocks.
Okay.
I have one comment about time clocks.
Okay.
They tend to lower employee morale. They become sort of archaic. There's a difference between discipline and order, and I don't think time clocks address either one of them. Just for thought. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other any other public comments on the director's report? All right, ongoing business. Expansion of the library hours to include Sunday from 1 to 5.
Okay, well, this is something that Joe had brought up and wanted to have on the agenda. I have Patrick's estimate that it would cost $9,600 a year as far as personnel costs to have the library open on Sundays.
The reason for this, I mean, at this point, we don't have any Sunday hours. To me,
Which is tragic.
yeah, exactly. And we have facilities in plant that sit locked up and closed. It doesn't cost us anything in terms of fixed costs to have those facilities open additional hours. It costs us some operating costs, a little bit of utilities and some staff, and we make a resource available for a lot of additional hours. One of the real reasons that I'm hoping this happens, we're going to have a summer program on the school side, and we're going to have the migrant kids, and they don't have access to computers out at the migrant center, and the library has a whole little computer center that they could use, and 1 to 5 on Sunday works really well in terms of it's after church hours, it's in the
They have a Spanish
afternoon.
Mass, don't they?
Yes, and Spanish Mass ends, I think, about 1 or 2 o'clock.
It's
So-
at 1.
It's at
It's
1? Okay. And so
You go,
this
Joe.
would be ideal in terms of, I mean, there are both, there's a migrant population in town as well as at the center. But both of them would be able to take advantage of this. And then we could run some extra programs and other things as well on Sundays. So I just think that this is a cost-effective way to make use of our facilities.
I agree with you, Joe. I think that a Sunday for 4 hours would be great to have it open, a great resource to the migrant kids as well as all the other kids in our city. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good idea. I brought it up at our last library staff meeting, and everybody seemed to think
it was-
that it could work.
excellent.
So I'll make a motion to approve this for this $9,600 expenditure. The one comment I would make when we have our budget, the ongoing budget with our actuals on it, is we can kind of see what our current cash position is so that we understand what our reserves might be as well.
Okay.
So not just the fact of what this year's budget, but what we have on hand and et cetera, so that we understand, if we have a reserve and what our reserve might be. That would be helpful too. It doesn't change my motion. But it goes along. This is great. It looks like we're doing good. But what I don't know is what money we had to start with. At least it's not shown here.
Okay.
Can we, can you maybe amend your motion to revisit this in 6 months' time and look at what usage looks like and what
I
our,
agree with that.
over the summer, and then in 6 months we'll come back and make a decision.
Good
as to
idea,
whether to
make it a
continue
pilot program.
Mhm.
Okay.
So amended.
Okay.
So I have a motion to approve the Sunday hours from 1 to 5.
Did you want to look for public comment?
Yeah, well, I'll do a
Need a
motion in a
second.
second, and then
Oh,
we'll.
okay. I'll second the motion.
So I have a motion and a second to approve Sunday hours from 1 to 5 effective immediately, or how long do you think you would have to?
Oh, I think it'll take a while to get the schedule together.
Okay.
So
July 1st?
I'll try for July 1st.
Okay. Okay, so July 1st with the,
If that's the case, how about if we run the pilot through the end of first semester of school? So it's December 31st, July 1 to the end of the year?
And we'll make a decision in our January.
that would be,
Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be
be
fine.
6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
Excellent.
yeah.
all right.
So I'll second the motion.
Okay, do we have any public comments? I see none. Any board comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Okay,
That's
the
great.
next one is to, I'm sorry, is this me or you?
Marino
The
contract.
contract?
Oh, yeah, so the next item is ratify the extension of the Brano maintenance contract. It's information, discussion, and action.
Basically, Pedro Moreno is a handyman who's hired to do all sorts of little things around the library. He's been on a series of 3-month contracts. The current one would expire in June. I would like to extend it through September. I've contacted Scott. He says that I think the limit is $17,100 for this kind of contract before it would have to go out to bid. And with the current contract, we can do it through September without having to go out to bid.
And even-
Pedro does lots of stuff as far as,
And you've seen his work. He
does a really good job. He does things quickly.
and he's reliable, from what I
He's
hear.
reliable, he's efficient, and he basically will do anything from getting rid of leaves outside to, he's gonna give you an estimate on what it would cost to get new tile in the men's room. Tile
Excellent.
around the drain is completely chipped and really looks pretty horrible. But also anything from small projects to big projects, he seems to be able to handle.
You know, if you have a good contractor, you need to keep him, because I have experienced that it's hard to find a good one, so. Do you guys have a motion?
I'll move to extend the contract.
I'll second.
All right, do we have any public comments on Mr. Moreno's contract extended through September? And no further board comments? All in favor?
Aye.
New business, adopt a mission statement for the library.
Okay, this is actually something that went back to Vanessa's time. She had come up with the mission statement and worked on some of the staff members with it, but it was never approved, or I don't think it was presented to the board. And I like the mission statement, so I would like to introduce that tonight and see if it's something that you would agree with. The proposed mission statement is, the Dixon Public Library provides access to collections, technologies, and programs that enrich, educate, and empower every individual and meet the changing needs of our diverse community.
Can you read it again?
Sure. The Dixon Public Library provides access to collections, technologies, and programs that enrich, educate, and empower every individual and meet the changing needs of our diverse community.
I think that sounds good.
Have you talked anything with staff
Talked with staff about this.
about this? Yeah. Have you collaborated with staff?
Yeah, a couple of the staff members had helped write this,
Okay.
and they had actually approached me about making it something official.
Okay.
I like it.
I think it's incredibly important to have that. It's what we're about and what we're attempting to do. Not only to have the mission statement, but also to begin to try to create long-term plans of what we want to be when we grow up. I mean, they may change, but it still have plans and executables to that. So,
I think when Greg Atkins was library director, if I'm wrong, he spent $3,000 or $4,000 on a consultant to have a workshop to develop. More, it was higher than that. I thought it was only $3,000 or $4,000 to have a workshop to develop a mission statement, which workshop ended in turmoil,
Yes,
as
it
I
did.
recall.
I remember that.
Having attended that workshop,
Well, Joe, that was then, this is now.
really.
I mean,
Yeah, let's
I
move on.
know,
I don't want to relive that.
no, so.
Please.
All right,
I'm glad we're able to do it without spending that kind of money.
got it.
Well,
All right, so do we have a motion on this?
Find a way to do that. I'll move to accept.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, do we have any public comments on our new mission statement? Any board comments? All in favor?
aye.
All right. Board announcements, Guy.
I don't have any. Have we come out with our schedule, our agenda schedule?
That was my question
Announcement?
as well.
Was that your
Yes,
announcement?
on my list. Yeah.
Could we get our annual schedule put
Sure.
together?
Okay.
So that we could put it out there, both for the public as well, so that everybody knows and can
We
plan.
need to approve it. So.
And we need to be
Yeah.
aware
So-
that we made changes on the school board side too.
Do we, remind me, we made changes to the first and third
I can't
Thursdays?
remember.
Yeah, we changed to the first and third in the.
Okay, so
school
the
board.
school board meetings are the first and third Thursdays of the month.
Okay.
How often are we meeting?
Let me see. The first and third begin when?
I think it begins in
Now.
July.
Effective
July. I think it
July?
begins in July.
July.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how often are we planning on meeting as a board?
It's once a month, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay, just once a
regular,
month, okay.
regular
month.
monthly meeting.
So
and
what,
then
which Thursday would work, second or fourth?
I'm trying to see. You say our new schedule starts July?
July. Yeah.
I don't have it on mine.
I'm trying to see if Sis put it in mine yet.
I think we just got an email.
Got an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to put them in. I don't know that she
Oh,
did.
Cicely sent the email.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah, I
it.
have it right here. Yeah. Oops, I didn't open it though.
Technology.
July 17th is the first one
Right.
that she has listed.
Oh, because we don't have one right in the beginning of July?
July 4th is that.
July 17
right.
is the first.
Yeah.
We're not meeting July 4th?
No. I
So
know.
that's right, first and third. So we can
I'd
be
be willing to
second
do it.
or fourth,
We'd be so close to the fireworks.
Yeah.
right? So it's second or fourth week.
Second or fourth.
week.
I don't have a preference.
I don't
So
think
why
we
don't you
will.
just, it doesn't matter to me.
How about we do the second Thursday of every month?
Second Thursday
That way
of the
on the
month?
five-
You
Okay.
just send us a
Thursday
schedule,
months
so
together.
yearly
Okay.
schedule. For all of our public
Do you
too.
guys
Maybe we
want-
need to, we should post that on the web.
And we
too.
need to
Hey,
approve
can
it
you-
here. Remember,
do you-
we
We
need
approve
you.
it first
Yeah.
agenda.
Do you guys want to quickly send Steve a copy of our,
Yeah, I can see.
that way he has it, so,
I don't have it. Oh, yeah, I guess I do.
Can you forward that?
Yeah, I can
Caitlin, you
forward
have
it.
Okay.
okay, she's gonna forward you our school board
Okay.
calendar, so you have it as reference.
What are we going with, first or third?
Second.
Second, excuse me, because we're first and third on the school board, okay. And then as soon as we agendize it and do that, then we should post it too for the web.
Okay.
Okay, but we do need to agendize it next meeting and approve it.
Yep,
Okay.
approve the calendar, got it.
Thank you. That's the end of my announcements.
Andy?
I have none.
This is not an announcement, it's agenda request for future meeting, which is, there had been work done on revisions of board policies, and that needs to be done since the old board policies obviously still refer to the commission, and a lot of them are outdated. And if we could create sections of the policies, not the entire thing at the next meeting, but a small section where we have a first reading, and then at the following meeting, put it on for, information, discussion, action. So the first time a policy appears on an agenda, it would be information discussion only, and it'd be a first reading for comment. And then the second time that policy comes up, and you could just sort of stagger them and go section by section, But I think it's important that we go through the revisions of the policies that have been drafted, and hold hearings on those and consider whether we're going to adopt them or not.
Okay.
Okay?
Agreed.
Captain?
No, Guy took mine.
Okay. Sorry.
Just kidding. All right, meeting adjourned.